Cheers, everybody. We are back for another edition of Bourbon on a Budget. TJ Pittenger, Brendan Sinone. Let me change some people around here. Brendan likes to be on top. That's what she said. Brendan Sinone, Ben Cock, and our best friend in the entire world,
Decadence.
Joe Decadence. I don't want to talk to any of the rest of you. Joe, how are you doing? The only one that matters here tonight.
I'm doing good. I appreciate that. It's been a while. It's good to be back.
Been a while. We've been trying to book you. Your agent hasn't gotten back to us in months, and so glad that we were able to get this back on. What the best part of Joe coming on tonight is this will be the first episode he's heard in about 3 or 4 months. No. So we had to bring him on so he would listen again.
You're dead to us, Joe.
I've been doing this. I just skipped. It was TJ month. I was like, I'm skipping. I'll go on.
I'm skipping.
The jokes were 10 out of 10. The jokes that made the show were even better. So,
oh boy,
Brendan, Ben, how are you guys doing? Ben's a little lit.
Doing fine.
Doing good.
Ben's doing great.
What a great night this is.
Okay, we brought Joe on for a very specific reason. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, it was to review what?
Elmer's glue.
Elmer T. Lee.
Elmer T. glue. I mean, the Lee there looks like glue, so it can just be like Elmer T. glue.
Yeah, that's terrible. Joe was very upset with our Buffalo Trace tournament that went down a few weeks ago. He literally left our group chat, stopped listening to the show from there. Did not like that. What was it? 10 seed over a
6-3?
Buffalo Trace 1 is all I know.
Yeah. Did not like that Buffalo Trace beat out Elmer T. Lee. But before we get into reviewing it, they're similar products, right? They're the same thing, just one goes down mash bill 2. The same proof, same age. Like one is literally just a little bit more rye. And so it's harder to find, which you know how,
a lot
people are. If bourbon's harder to find, they like it more. So that's definitely Joe. He's a tater. 10 versus a 2. But yeah, we're going to give Elmer T. Lee its fair chance tonight and review this and see how it does. So, Brendan, you want to tell us about Elmer T. Lee?
I do. I can hear people listening to this and complaining that they're not the exact same thing. They are both Buffalo Trace products. They are both proofed very similarly. In fact, the exact same, both 90 proof. There is a slight difference in the mash bill. Mash bill 1 is Buffalo Trace standard, and that's the low rye mash bill. Mash bill 2, which is Blanton's, Elmer T. Lee. What's the cheap one that we really liked? Ben?
Benchmark?
No, Benchmark was awful. Benchmark was dog crap. Anyways, that was it. It was Ancient Age. But anyways, Elmer T. Lee is a high rye, about 15%, but the mash bill is something that Buffalo Trace will not disclose. And it is a single barrel. That is one big difference between the Elmer T. Lee and the Buffalo Trace. It's single barrel. Elmer T. Lee was an old master distiller at Buffalo Trace. I started working there in the late 1940s, worked his way up through the entire distillery and became a master distiller in the 1980s, and really someone who revolutionized the idea of single barrel mass-produced bourbon. Up until that point, it was kind of a novelty. He is the guy who invented Blanton's and made that really popular. So there is no age statement on this. The MSRP is about $40, but good luck finding it for $40. I think probably $300 is what you'll probably see it if you do see it in stores. So it'll be marked up a pretty good deal. So as mentioned, this is Buffalo Trace product, and it is a highly coveted one indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys. Nailed it.
I was thinking about just leaving Brendan. I was thinking about just leaving Brendan on full screen for the rest of the show. Maybe we were okay. Yeah, Tommy's saying he's going to take Elmer over Buffalo Trace. Yeah. Ben took it as well. I think it was just me and Brendan that were off that night, and then Joe's. So it's like 3-2. Me and Brendan are the losers, but let's see. Let's roll with it. All right, what are you getting on the nose? Let's let Joe go first. Joe, how's your nose doing this week?
Nose is pretty good. I was just sniffling it up a little bit before the show started.
I don't like it. I just like the way it smells. Go ahead.
No, I mean it's good. It's clean. It's sweet. It's real light on the nose. I get kind of I say creamy, but it's not like a heavy cream or some type of a thickness. A lot of the Elmer kind of is a little bit on the thinner side, but it's real light, real pleasant, almost like maybe like a cream soda type vibe to it.
There's a creaminess, yeah.
Yeah, like that type of cream.
Creamsicle-y.
Like
orange,
like an orange cream.
Orange.
Yeah, you can get a little light fruit like citrus or strawberry or something real light. I'm not going to go towards any of the heavy notes.
I would agree there. Yeah, I don't get any kind of like maple or like those darker fruits. It's all bright.
You'll get the classic. Obviously, you're going to get vanilla and some not too much caramel, but brown sugar. This is the classic bourbon notes there.
As a product of it being proofed down as much, right? Since it is 90 proof.
Smelling this
makes sense
and
that it's lighter.
Tasting it a little bit before the show, I really wish this was higher proof because I think it'd actually be pretty damn great if it was in the 100+ range. But that's not what we're analyzing right now. The fruit I got, fellas, was red apple, which is a common theme for Buffalo Trace products. So that could be power suggestion for me. But I thought this was very apple pie-ish with some of the low end spicy notes, but the caramel, the vanilla. There's a little bready element, which is softer, like Joe mentioned as well. And I definitely get the creamy. The nose smells creamy. It's not heavy, like Joe said. I interpret it as like waxiness, like how like pecans or certain like nuts are kind of waxy. So it's got kind of an interesting, not funky smell to it, but a little different. So it's traditional, but it does like 3 or 4 things that they're kind of different and make it unique in that sense. So this is an enjoyable nose. I like it.
Taste. Ben, you can start us here.
Yeah, I would say a lot of those lighter characteristics are consistent through nose and palate. So a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel, but it's still, I would say a lot of fruitiness comes through. Lighter fruits, not maybe like a peach or an apple. But I'm missing a lot of like spice or, which is, I think it's interesting because I think this is like the higher rye mash bill in the Buffalo Trace line. So I think it's just interesting that I'm not getting those kind of like spicy notes. I'm getting more of like sweet, fruity notes. But yeah, it's kind of what's coming through. And I think that is also attributed to the proof being a little bit lower.
Brendan?
I'm pretty much in lockstep with Ben there. Fruity this is a very fruit forward drink. I get the red apple again. But what I will say with the spice, like it's not spicy, it's not hot, it's not peppery or anything like that. A little bit of baking spice though. So I got clove on the taste and more so at the finish, which kind of again coincides with thinking apple pie, right? I got custard and vanilla as well on the taste. I thought the nose was far more complex than the actual taste. I was able to get a lot more things on the nose than the actual drink element of this, but enjoyable. Joe, what about you?
Yeah, I would stay consistent with that. It is light. It stays light throughout. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, I guess, on the finish. But I get a little bit of cinnamon as far as baking spice, kind of transitioning from the taste to the finish. Not heavy. I mean, it's not like biting you by any means. But I think because it's like those lighter fruits and the hint of sweetness, it kind of has like a finesse feel to it. It's just real smooth. Kind of refined, not super refined. It's not that old. It's not still a little bit young in that 5 to 7 range. But I'd agree with you guys as far as the notes that you're picking up there. I got the same thing.
I love the use of finesse there. I think that's a really good way to describe. There's a little bit of oomph to this, little jazz. A
little bit of jazz hands.
What's the word you always say, Brendan? You say it on every show, and now I can't remember it.
Oh,
we haven't recorded.
Exquisite.
No,
exquisite.
No.
It is exquisite. It's 1,000% exquisite.
No, it's another word. It's another word.
Quintessential.
Yeah.
It's quintessentially exquisite.
Yeah, I think Joe has an exquisite palate. I'm picking up a little bit of that spice too. It's so light, I think, because it's proofed down a little bit. Mouthfeel, yeah. Sean in here. Do it. Do the weird thing.
Mouthfeel.
Yeah,
no one
there
likes
you go.
this. No one
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, we just lost 8 people watching live.
Yeah, goodbye.
So they all logged out at that second.
Real.
But yeah, I pick up a little bit on the spice. It's very light, again, proof down. I think that's my biggest complaint with this. And I think why the Buffalo Trace ultimately ended up beating it out, because I just felt like the Buffalo Trace flavor was a little bolder for what it was. And maybe it was just sweeter. Maybe it wasn't bolder, or more bold. But anyway, all right, onward. Finish. Brendan, you start us off.
So the Buffalo Trace is older than the Elmer T. Lee. Elmer T. Lee is between 5 and 7 years, Joe said, and Buffalo Trace is what, like 7 to 8 years? Now they're age statements, but that's interesting that you can get older bourbon. The finish, to me, I'm really in agreement with Joe on it. It's kind of delicate. There are some nice, like a little bit of spice at the end. That's probably where it's at its quote unquote spiciness, right? But to me, kind of just it is very cohesive in that it follows through with all, like the vanilla, the custard, that creaminess. But that red apple is present to me. It's almost kind of like a little bit of a hint of like citrus, with that I guess that, as I would describe as, again, spicy, but not peppery, not super hot, just more kind of gives you a little nice send off there into the night. So good night, Elmer T. Lee. Good night, sweet Prince.
Good night, sweet Elmer Prince Lee. T.
Interesting.
Joe, what do you think about the finish? You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but touch on it some more.
So the finish, I mean, the finish, honestly, for me is kind of where the Elmer doesn't fall flat, but kind of isn't its strong point. I mean, it starts off, the finish starts pretty decent. You're still getting some flavors coming through. And if anything, the mouthfeel will probably be most prominent there, but it doesn't last. I mean, it's not, coating your mouth and, you're not sucking on it like a candy for a couple of minutes or anything like that. It kind of disappears. So I do, again, get some of that baking spice more in the finish, but it doesn't really last too long.
I mean, chime in with a comment here. Buffalo, they are lowering the ages. Obviously, Tommy picks a lot there at Corona, formerly David off there in Tampa, but that doesn't shock me a ton. Everything's just push it out as quick as you can, right? Ben, what about the finish? Ben loves to say a finish falls flat. If Brendan loves to say exquisite, Ben loves to come on here and crap on finishes. Like that is par for the course.
Remember that the finish here is like super low proof, so there's not a whole lot action that's going to be happening. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about the finish with Elmer T. I think it's very buttery, as in there's not a lot of spice going on. There's a little bit of oiliness that I'm picking up, and I think the finish is probably why it's so sought after, because there's a good group of people that consider when bourbon is smooth, it's of higher quality. And so if you have a bottle that drinks without a ton of spice at the end and that gets like buttery or oily at the end as opposed to like spicy, then people may just be like, oh, that's a better quality bourbon. And which is why I think people look so highly on Elmer T, is because it finishes so buttery, at least on my palate. So that's kind of what I'm picking up, a little bit of buttery, not a lot of spice, just sweet, easy drinking. That's kind of the way I would describe the finish.
To go off what Ben said, that's a really great point. I
would agree.
I agree that you agree with my agreement. But as I'm experiencing it, so I think, please don't do that to me.
Full size, Brendan. Big Brendan, the largest I've ever seen.
How can I zoom in more?
Please don't.
To the top.
As I'm experiencing this, it has a nice like mid palate, and there's like a decent amount of flavor. It's not super complex, and the end result of the finish is pleasant as well, where there's a few things going on, but there's no kick. And usually, like, to me, there's a kick when in between like the finish, or between the end of like tasting it, and then you get that alcohol burn, and then maybe you get to the finish. There's that little jump at the end, and there's not that here. It kind of falls flat for like half a second before you get some of that, some of the spice from the finish at the end. But yeah, there's this weird kind of drop off at the very end of the tasting experience, which is pretty unique to bourbon. So I think Ben articulated better than I did, but that is how I experienced it, going back and sampling on it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off what you guys said. I think early on when I, started getting into bourbon, I think this was more elite to me then than it is now. You start to appreciate higher proofs and more bold bourbons, and obviously this is real easy to drink and it is solid, but it's not like some of the other higher proof stuff and that we're accustomed to. So that's kind of, earlier on, this is going to be elite to anybody that likes lower stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree. That's what Ben says a lot. This is the show where we just say what everyone else says a lot. What is Joe's big thing that he says a lot?
Decadence.
I don't say that. That's what Brandon says.
I don't say that. Ben says that.
He loves so much decadence.
Let's rate the thing. Lord. You guys are so inappropriate. 2 points for the nose, 4 for the taste, 1 for the finish, 1 for cohesiveness and complexity, and 2 for value. Sheesh, I'm all over the place here. Who's first? We'll let our esteemed guest go first.
Yes.
Go Decadence.
You're gonna make me go first.
I'm gonna make you go first every time.
What's that? Oh, damn.
I'm gonna make you go first every time.
Well, I'm gonna just set the bar real high. No, I'm just kidding.
2.5.
What's that?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. We're gonna get bonus points on the nose. Now the nose is it's pleasant, it's light, it's enjoyable. It's probably to me it's above average, not super complex, but very pleasant for sure. So I will go with a 1.5.
1.5. That's a good score, Brendan.
I was between a 1.25 and a 1.5, and I told myself as Joe was struggling with his answer there, and you could tell it was excruciating to go there. I was like, if he goes 1.5, I will go 1.5 in solidarity. 1.5 for me.
I'll go the same thing, 1.5. But
it's a really good nose, isn't it? Like I think the nose is the best part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Thank you.
1.5 for me. Ben?
Yeah, fine. 1.5. I'm going to do the same.
Taste. Ben, you can start us off on this one.
I'll go to taste. 2.75. This is the most average of tastes.
Wouldn't that be a 2?
I know, but it's not unpleasant. So, it's 2.75. 2.
Brendan?
7. 5.
I'll go with 2.5. It's a well above average. It's not super revelatory, but it is enjoyable. So 2.5 for me.
Go.
So I'm going to go with a 3 because I do enjoy it and it's high. But
Homer pick. Jeez.
So no, here's the deal. I enjoy higher proof stuff for sure. On my new weekly pours, I'm not drinking every single day, but during the week, I've been trending down a little bit more on proof just to save myself the next day. So on my more regular stuff, I really enjoy this taste. So I'm going to go with a 3. It's well above average to me.
That's not bad at all. I like it. Is it just me?
It's your turn.
2.75. I'll split you guys. I'll go slightly higher than Brendan. I agree with Joe. Like, I am not as much of a proof whore as Ben is. I really like stuff in that 95 to 105 range. Actually, probably like that 100 to 110 range is really kind of perfect for me.
I agree.
I don't need stuff to be up at like 125, 130, 145 like Ben likes to singe his palate.
There are very few bottles at 140. That's ridiculous.
But
there are few and far between.
I don't hate low proof stuff. Now, I'm not typically just drinking a 90, but
110,
95, 98.
110 plus is what it be.
Yeah. So 2.75. It's above average. So finish. Brendan can go first on this one.
0.5. Very average finish to me. It does some things really well, but also kind of has that weird flatness at the very beginning of it.
What did you say again? What was your number?
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
0.5.
5.
I'm consistent with Brendan. 0.5.
Solidarity.
I'm going to 1/2 of 1.
I agree. I would go 0.5 on the finish.
Yeah, average to me. Which I think you expect with that proof again. Cohesiveness and complexity. Brendan, you can start us off here again. I'm not going to listen, but you can start us off.
0.5. No, because that was the joke. It's the last one, and you didn't know what it was. 0.7. 0.7.
0.75 is the way to be. That's the right answer here.
What Ben gives every cohesiveness and complexity for all of time.
It's very cohesive, and there's some elements of it that are super complex.
Just not super complex.
But not complex all the way through. Yeah.
I would agree.
Joe agrees.
Right.
0.75.
That's
All
right.
right. We all said 0.75, TJ, if you're listening.
So Tommy just sent me. So I was kind of not listening for a minute. I'll go 0.75 as well. But Tommy just sent me a picture of a 2013 and a 2014 Elmer T. Lee, both Corona picks, and 2014. Both of them are over 12 years old. Like I'm so.
That's reason to be distracted. I think that's like the equivalent of like getting a
2013
nice,
Elmer T. Lee pick.
Nice
Holy
nude pick.
Crap.
I'd rather have the bourbon pick.
Wow.
All right. So going into value, Joe Decadence 5.75. Yes. I've got a 5.5. Brendan's got a 5.25, and Ben's got a 5.5. So we're all pretty right on here. Pretty close. Oh, I just got another. All right, Tommy's got to stop texting me because now I'm really distracted. But we got some good news coming here in just a minute.
Yes.
All right, before we even
I don't know what it is.
Let me tell you, but
I'm super excited. Don't even know what it is.
Tommy says we should do a podcast together and open one soon. Beginning of August.
Sorry, Joe. We're kicking you off for that one. You're out of here.
I'm done. That's it for me. I got nothing.
Who knows where Tampa is? He comes down. He doesn't say hi to me when he's in town, but he does come down quite often.
Remember last week I was like, "Hey, what are you doing this week?" And you're like, "Oh, out of town."
Oh yeah, the next week. That's what Tommy's on we'll tell the story in a minute. But all right, value. it's $40 retail. You can't find it for that. It's $300 secondary.
You're never freaking find it for $40.
So out of two, where are you going? Where are you going on value, Joe?
Yeah, this is where it really falls hard because I mean you can't find it. It is. I do like it and I enjoy it, but secondary is obscene. It's far overpriced. I think even when I get it from the shop that I get it from, it's not secondary, but it's not $40. I mean, I don't. How much does the vault even have it for? It's probably more than $40, right?
I actually just got it. I think it was like 45 or 50.
Yeah,
so somewhere in there.
Okay, so I mean, at that price, great value, but given how hard it is to find, what is it at a 2?
Yes.
I'm not drinking it for $45.
I don't know. Give it all the fat 0.5. I don't know. It falls hard. You can't find it. I mean, the average bourbon drinker can't go out and buy this, and $300 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would rather spend like $500 to $600 on a George T. Stag than come close to even like $200 for the Elmer T. Lee.
I mean, like, you used to be stealing a George T. Stag at $500 or $600.
Oh, that's true. I was going to say $1,000, but I thought that was over there. But I've gotten a George T. Stag for.
I'd rather spend $1,000 on a Peppy 23.
Well, yeah, Joe gave it. Joe gave it a 0.
What a genius statement.
What a dick.
Joe gave it a 0. Ben, what are you at?
0.
Ooh, a 0. Wow. I'm going to
0.5.
No. He said 0.5. I just want to see if Ben would be like, we'll say
it. I'm going to give it a 0.25. And I'll tell you.
Woo!
I don't know what I would do with this bottle. If I got this bottle in a vault, right, it'd be $45-$50. I don't think I would drink it. Like it's a bottle I would never drink, you know, as opposed to just like showing off. I would have to just trade it for something of similar value for something higher proof. Like I mean, $300 on the secondary gets me a lot of really cool products. I'm just looking at my shelves and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I would literally never drink Elmer T. Like I don't know what I would drink it for. You know, it could be crazy, but I don't know if I'd be like, can't wait to get this open. Like I have a couple of Blantons, which are like in my head, not too far off that, right? And I just don't drink those often until I'm trying to like show off with some people who aren't like super into bourbon, you know, like they're into bourbon enough to like it, but not into bourbon enough not to like it. You know?
Yeah, 0.75 me. I'll go a little higher than Joe. I think there is some value here, especially like you said, maybe special occasions. Maybe you're celebrating with somebody. It is a cool bottle.
Maybe get invited onto a podcast.
How about this?
I was just wondering, do we think the bottle is cool? Like, do we think?
I do think the bottle is cool.
There's an old dude just chilling in the back of it. I don't know. I don't know if it's a cool bottle or not.
You can go and trade. You can go and trade an Elmer T for a E.H. Taylor single barrel. Those are similar price points, or at least similar secondary. And I would do the E.H. Taylor every time. Every time to this.
Even like some cool like Michter's rye stuff, like some barrel strength rye.
Michter's barrel strength rye. You can get like two bottles of that, you know. And I just feel like the opportunity cost is too high. That's all.
Yeah, I'll go. So by 0.75, I think there is some value there. If you could, I mean, I think almost like with secondary stuff, I'm going to start doing like 1 point for the secondary price and 1 point for the retail price.
Okay.
Just kind of split it up. So at retail, I give it a 0.75.
Yeah.
In secondary, like on the secondary side, it's 0. So like 0.75 total.
That's a good way of looking at it. I agree with that.
Like, kind of just, but 0.5 is a fair score. 0.2, I mean 0.25 is too. It's kind of crazy. But Brendan. I said Brendan.
Decadence.
That half an ounce of Elmer T. Lee, I had to split this with Ben.
I know.
See it, but yeah.
Sorry.
Hit you hard. That 90 proof. I'll put it this way. I've had this Elmer T. Lee for more than a year, and I sent samples to you guys. I poured some now. This is how little I've drank of it. It's just 0.25.
You just don't grab, like, you don't reach for it often. You know,
no, that's like,
when do you drink it?
To your point, Ben, like who would this impress other than like someone who's super into bourbon? Because it's not
also
like
not super into bourbon.
Right.
You know,
because the Blantons is what I would pull out for someone who's new into it and would probably have some like recognition of like, I've heard of Blantons before. No one's heard of Elmer T. Lee unless you're really into it. And if you're really into it, we're going for something more nuanced and depthy.
Like, who is the market for that? You know, I don't know.
So
rich people.
Well,
you said 0.25, Brendan?
0.25. Yeah.
So you're asking an interesting take is you guys are asking when you would reach for it. And recently I had a conversation with some buddies that drink bourbon too. And, you know, like I said earlier, I've been tapering back. If I do drink during the week, I go a little bit lower proof. I looked at my collection out of, I don't know how many bottles I have.
1,000 bottles?
No, I don't have that. Say I have 100 bottles. You know, you look at them and I maybe had like 5 that were 90 proof. So to keep something that's like worth it at 90 proof, that's where I would pull out this bottle. There's not that many on my shelf that's in that 90 proof range that I would purchase on a regular basis. So if you have it, that's the time where you would pull it out, in my opinion.
I'll get Tommy and Sean's take if you guys are still in the chat. When are you guys reaching for this bottle? You know, I just don't know. Maybe I'm way off here.
Well, Tommy's reaching for a 2014 one in a few weeks. That's when he
isn't reaching for one because that's why it's still around
with us.
8 years later.
No, he was saving it for good friends.
I know. I'm just saying, you know.
For you, Ben, even for me, like at $40, I think that's a reasonable price for this if this was readily available. Like, I think this is a good like what Joe uses it for, which is like as a daily or something like this would be a good like having in the middle of the week.
Dailying Elmer T. Lee.
A daily Elmer T. Lee. But that's the thing is you're not going to waste the Elmer T. Lee on your daily zipper.
Rock Hill Farms is consistently a better pour than Elmer T. Lee in the same stratosphere.
You know, and I've never had Rock Hill Farms.
I agree 100% there. Rock Hill Farms is 100 proof and is better. Believe it's 100.
So yeah, like this would have to be to me like to replace this bottle. I don't know, like $60 is what I would pay for it. Like knowing what I know now for it. Yeah,
Brendan, you got to bring your Elmer T. Lee down so we can do them side by side. A new one and an old one.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna set that up. All right, so our final scores, and then I got a quick story, and then I don't know how much we'll do more after this, but. Final scores, Ben with a 5.75, Brendan with a 5.5. Very rare that Brendan's the lowest on here. That's Ben's job. And then myself and Joe Decadence, 6.25, takes our aggregate to 5.9375. So 5.94. Okay, not great. I didn't hit the big board, but a lot because of value. It was not doing bad before we all crushed it on value. 5.93. 5.94, almost a 6. We'll just round it up to a 6. This got a 6 tonight, so congratulations to Elmer. Currently, Yeah, okay. So Will's got a good point.
Pop.
Usually pulls out his Elmer T. Lee for friends who have had blends and want to try something similar. It's not a bad call.
Yep.
You're just the one thing about this, you're giving them something they're never gonna have again. Or at your house, maybe, but like they're never gonna find it anywhere unless they spend money crazy. So
what is if you see it at a restaurant, what's the going rate for a pour in your area?
Ooh.
Depends on where you go. Ben, remember I got it at that place on City Walk. I got an Elmer T. Lee.
Did we?
What was the name of that place?
Big Fire.
Yeah, I got an Elmer T. Lee there. I want to say it was like, I mean, everything's a little more on City Walk. I want to say it was like $18, $20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, which isn't terrible.
There's a high-end restaurant in Jacksonville. High-end restaurant in Jacksonville that I went to. This was within the last year, but they had it there, and one pour $50.
Oh, like it's in the back.
I've seen some store picks. I mean, but like I've seen some store picks.
I didn't buy that.
Yeah, jeez.
I asked to talk to a manager. I was like, "This is ridiculous." Kidding me?
Premier manager, this is garbage.
This is just a joke.
So, the reason Tommy said we were at Davidoff yesterday. Ben, I want to have you talk a little bit about what we picked up, and then we'll get out of here. It's been on for about half an hour, but we were at Tommy's. He was doing a dry. Oh, you killed it! You killed it! Look at you! I pulled up the Bull Run because I was looking for something good. So, Tommy's doing a dry July. That's wild. You hear about dry Januaries all the time. Dry July, that's tough. You got
with the fourth in there. That's crazy.
Dry June. I think Sean did it.
Better,
Sean had said he did it as well, for what it's worth.
Dang. I saw Tommy with a glass, and I was like, oh, and he smelled it and then poured it out, and I was like, he was just kind of nosing it. It doesn't count if you nose it. But that's why we have to do the
I like that
podcast after his dry month. So Sean got through dry June. Prayers up, my man. Ben, what did we get over at Tommy's yesterday? We got into some stuff. We picked up a couple of bottles. We got some rapid reviews coming up soon. What's going on here? Do you remember what we picked up? Ask the guy that's had 6 drinks.
Yeah, I may have been sampling a couple of these, prior to tonight. But a lot of store picks are hitting Tommy's right now, which is now officially named Corona Cigar, formerly Davidoff. So that is now the new name, Corona Cigar. And we picked up the new Peerless Bourbon, Peerless Rye, Angel's Envy, and Stellum. All these picks recently just hit the bar. I immediately went home and I opened the Angel's Envy. Great. The Bourbon and Rye Peerless, also very, very good. I would say definitely better than the prior Peerless. So if you have the older ones, grab these new ones, step up, notch up. In addition, he's also getting one of the first ever Peerless double oaked store picks.
Ooh.
So he'll be getting
DJ.
one of those.
Damn,
man, I'll probably get 4 of those. Like that is right up my alley.
And Nate, you could buy bottles from that place.
Yes, you can buy bottles
from the store, from Corona Cigar. Yeah. So if you want some, let me know. I'll get you some.
Yeah, we can send some over to you. They're all great.
The Peerless picks are amazing. Joe, you've had Peerless stuff. I've sent it to you. I think
it's all great. Yeah, I love the double oak. So
amazing.
I'm really looking forward. I would definitely get that. I love the double oak.
And his
Peerless
double oak
Rye
pick's going to be incredible.
The Peerless Rye is some of my favorite whiskey out.
There is one elite pour right now that's only available at the bar that was released a couple of weeks ago. We had to keep it hush hush until it officially came out.
Yeah.
And this is a store pick purple top Willett Family Estate. And it is incredible. This is the day that we were trying most of the store picks and some like E.H. Taylor barrel picks. We did a couple different tastings, and this was far and above.
Blew them out of the water. This was not even. It was not close.
It was incredible. What an incredible pour that is. So if you're in the Tampa area, go and grab one at the bar. Say, hey Tommy, we're here for the purple top, and he'll know. It's incredible. It is incredible. Those are not available by the bottle. Not available by the bottle, but just by the pour at the bar. They're well worth it, whatever it is.
Ben, you also went to a tasting tonight. You want to talk about that real quick, and then we'll get out of here? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. We went to a Garrison Bros tasting. We went through a lot of their lineup. Small batch, single barrel, Honeydew, Balmorhea, and Laguna Madre. Those were all Texas Texas's Garrison, Texas bourbons, and it was a really cool kind of just overall profile. It's a little different than your typical Kentucky bourbons, but it was good. I think there are a couple stores in the area that are getting store picks, single barrel, like barrel strength store picks coming out soon. So keep an eye out for those. But it was a cool event. Definitely worth trying some of their products if you haven't yet. A little more expensive, just a little smaller distillery that's a little more expensive, which is the only kind of like deterrent. But it's a good product. They don't source anything. It's all their own juice. So it's cool.
All right, good stuff. Joe, you have anything you'd like to say before you get out of here? You have any shout outs? Do you want to tell us how much you love us? Brendan,
I love you guys so much. I think about you all the time. I've missed you so much.
He's speaking directly to you, TJ. Just as
I'm still, I am. I'm not gonna lie.
Into your eyes.
I'm still working my way through TJ month, but it's good to be back.
What a pause between TJ and month. You work my way through TJ month.
We did half his little content that month, and he still can't get through it.
Yeah. Speaking of half his little,
you guys, since I haven't listened in so long, have you guys don't do pursuits and purchases anymore, or what that part of the show's gone, or what?
I just talked about my pursuing and purchase.
No, you were like hanging out and drinking. That wasn't pursuit.
Yeah, to be fair, TJ didn't call it pursuits and purchases. He kind of
yeah, just talked about it all around.
We pursued.
Yeah, so we explained this a few shows ago. If you'd have been listening, you'd have heard it. During the summer, we just cut back on a little bit of content, and we're basically just doing reviews each week. So we're not doing like a main shit, just kind of a review each week and get out. Then during the fall, we'll bring back the main kind of content shows.
All right, well, I'll see you in September then.
We're also still doing some rapid reviews.
Maybe you'll be caught up by then. Brendan, you got anything you're pursuing or purchasing? Joe, do you have anything you're pursuing or purchasing? I feel like that was a leading question, Brendan. Let's let Joe talk. He's very.
I haven't really been. I've been slowing down the purchasing. Been trying to get a hold of Russell Reserve 13. It's popping up all over the place, and I'm like a couple minutes late each time. I haven't been able to get my. But no, I haven't really been pursuing anything too super hard.
Is it my turn?
Super hard. I barely know.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a super hard joke, but
you guys, all the wheels were turning. Like as soon as I said that. I looked at every one of your faces, and you're all just like.
I was just sitting here. I don't even think about it.
No, I saw you thinking.
I was gonna make another joke. I gotta stop myself. Keep going.
Tommy might have a 13. We'll see what we can do. I'll let you know. Tommy might have a 13.
Oh, hello, Tommy.
Tommy's clutch.
No, he doesn't want that 13. He just wants a Kentucky Spirit. I want a 13.
Yeah. We're gonna swap the bottles.
Same thing. Kentucky Spirit. They're the same, Joe. Brandon, what you pursuing or purchasing? Let's get out of here before I get in trouble.
I got a Del Bach, which is a New Mexico distillery. I forget which one it is exactly, but it's a mesquite smoked whiskey that Jason Noe got for us on his travels. So I haven't received that yet, but I'm very much so looking forward to the uniqueness. I've heard really good things about Del Bach and that drink especially. So
yeah, Jason got me something too. Let's try and scroll up and see what it was.
Jason,
he got a Good Times finished in.
Did producer Eddie? Oh, that sounds really good, TJ. That's right.
But it was mispriced. He got it for like $45. So
that's right. It was like half price.
It was like half price. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Oh, look at Eddie. Eddie got him a new Riff single barrel. We have a new producer. We'll introduce him. Eddie, do you want to come in here and talk to the people? You don't have to, but you can if you want. You can give me a yes or no.
He said no.
He said no.
He said leave him alone.
He's behind. Never mind the man behind the curtain.
He's low key, man.
So not like that Forrest guy that we had on here for
R.I.P. Forrest.
Rip.
He's not dead. But yeah, Eddie got him my new Riff single barrel. Good stuff there. Good stuff for the pursuits and purchases, guys. New Orleans Bourbon on a Budget meetup. I'm trying to get Ben to go out to New Orleans with us. I don't think it's going to happen because
we're going to Louisville in September.
Yeah, TJ just doesn't stop.
2 weeks before that.
Oh my God.
So are you? You're going too.
What?
Yeah, but I'm not going for bourbon. I'm going for work.
Whatever you need to justify to go. I mean, geez. I'm not going for bourbon. I'm going for work.
You're still with the Florida State
team? Place called...
Still doing that?
There you go. Catch up with Georgia or Joe. Want some natties?
Don't do it because we were really good, and then Brendan got here, and
that's actually not true. I got here, and then they won a national title 3 months into me being
and
here,
then ever since then,
no one cares. No one cares about sports. It's the most ridiculous thing.
All right.
Sports suck.
If you watched, if you listened,
the Olympics,
garbage.
If you'll hit the share button, we'd appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Joe, thank you a ton for hanging out tonight. We really appreciate it. Again, we really just wanted you to be able to listen to this episode. We'll see you guys again soon. We'll see Sean in New Orleans. See the rest of you in Louisville. Tommy, Sean, Will, those that commented, those that hung out. Appreciate it.
Tommy, I sent you a Facebook friend request.
He's gonna get that 13. For TJ Pitcher, Big Puck, and Decadence Joe. This is Bourbon on the Budget. Cheers.
Cheers.
Called your house.
Cheers.